This subreddit is unironically really funny to read. I just want men who prefer big boobs or who proudly call themselves boob guys to leave flat-chested or small-chested girls alone. I can just tell by the title this is gonna be some nonsense. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I don't think I've ever once seen a dude shit on a girl for having a flat chest. I've seen them have preferences, like, yeah, sure. And, like, tease them and being like, oh yeah, well, I like big boobs, right? But I've never seen in my entire life a guy being hostile over it, like, completely. You know what I'm saying? No way you haven't. I hear it all the time. No, honest to God. I've never heard about that. Like, I knew girls that were flat-chested as f and girls with big boobs. I've never heard that. Maybe it's anecdotal, but for me personally, I've never heard that shit. Maybe I'm lucky, I don't know. This is something I've carried inside me for a long time. After recent experience, I finally decided to speak up. English is my first language. I use ChatGPT to help express myself. Okay, so they're not American at least, or they're not an English speaker, okay. I'm 21 and since my teenage years I struggled with body image, specifically with my flat chest, which never really developed, and at this point I probably never will. I'm very slim, but it's genetic. I'm perfectly healthy. I grew up in a culture that constantly praised big boobs as the ultimate symbol of femininity. Movies, TV shows everywhere, big breasts were seen as desirable, while smaller ones were often the punchline. So naturally, I developed this deep belief that most men are into big boobs and the bigger the better. This is exactly what I thought when I read the title. I'm about to read a wall of text by a girl who's insecure about her flat chest and she projects it onto men as a whole. Surely not, chat. We're not gonna keep going on this, right? Over time, I came to terms with my body. I made one important rule for myself: never date a guy who prefers big boobs because I don't have them. I don't judge men who have that preference. Everyone's entitled to their taste and I respect that, but I've decided I don't want to be with someone who secretly wishes I look different, someone who might be settling me for me until they find their ideal. That thought hurts too much. Is perky titties not like a universally appreciated trait? Hasn't like every single culture on earth at least made statues of some sort of women having nice big boobies? We're already not at a great start. It is not exclusive to one culture. I think that's everywhere. We're not starting strong. There's no way your culture or where you live like boobs, big boobs more than any other culture. I think it's genuinely universal. Could be anywhere. That's what I'm saying. And if you think that's an irrational fear, it's not. I've seen it happen. One of my friends was dumped by the guy she loved simply because one day he realized he wanted to touch big boobs. How old was this guy and this friend that you were dating? Hello? And staying with her meant he'd never experienced that. He cheated and told her he needed to be with a real woman, not someone with the body of a skinny guy. Honey, I have some news for you. I think it is an irrational fear. I don't mean that it doesn't happen. I mean, that's a natural part of life. And there's nothing you can do about it. Stop thinking about it so much. This absolutely reeks of insecurity so far. And you know what the funny part is? It's not always gonna be your chest. A guy might leave you because he's secretly into feet and your arches aren't like perfect enough or whatever, or they're not good enough. He might leave you because he thinks you're too skinny or your ass isn't fat enough. This unironically feels like it's written by a minor who like never got into a relationship past the honeymoon phase. This definitely seals it for me. Like, my friend got dumped by a guy who said, I need to touch big boobs. Like, no one over the age of like 20 says this, or at least like 25, I feel like. If you make it past a year or two in a relationship, generally when you split, it's not because of looks. It's because of literally anything else, in my opinion. Because you actually start to learn what your partner is like as a person. Maybe you live with them or whatever, or you realize you're not compatible. Or it's because of money. I don't fucking know. The amount of times a breakup happens in a relationship that's at least 2+ years old because your boyfriend found a girl with bigger tits, it's probably almost non-existent. Specifically, I need to touch big boobs. Who says this? It's non-existent. I promise you, if he left you after 2 years or more, it's not because of your chest. Yo, smugglers, here to quickly interrupt your latest React viewing to tell you about this adorable SmugAlana Fire plushie. Kick it, print it,
do whatever you want, but she goes away forever, ever, ever on June 24th, so grab yours while you can.
Another friend who had a boyfriend who during sex would turn her away so he wouldn't see her chest. She later caught him watching porn featuring women with large breasts and comparing them to her. So he's a gooned out guy. Chat, please don't tell me you guys are like this. I refuse to believe you guys would do this. There are so many stories like that. Guys say size doesn't matter, but in the end it does. Why does this remind me also of girls saying that men who don't have big peepees are inferior? It's this two sides of the same coin. I've heard this shit too. Oh yeah, height matters too. Yeah, height matters. Yo, no more 6 foot anymore. If you're under 6 foot, you're subhuman apparently. Horrible thing to say, by the way. Of course, not all men are like this, but those experiences left a deep mark on me. Yeah, sure. And I'm not willing to risk that kind of pain again. My heart is too important. It is especially painful to know that you're not your partner's type. That if you ask them about their ideal woman, they describe someone completely unlike you. Chat, what am I reading? This is unironically something I'd probably read in like a high school girl's diary. I refuse to believe that this person is above the age of like 21. Or maybe even 18. I had insecure thoughts too. No, I don't believe so. I think that there are people like this that exist. There are women who judge a guy by their penis size or their height size, or a guy that only wants big boobs. But I just feel like that it's not a majority. Genuinely, there are adults that act like this, but to act like a lot of men are like this? I don't know. Alana, can you turn around, please? I don't want to see your tailless side. No tail! Your tail is too big. Things were okay until a couple of months ago when I started liking this guy. Let's call him Tom. I met him at a birthday party for a mutual friend. He was sweet and funny, but we had a brief but pleasant conversation. He left a good impression. A few days later, I started asking around and learned more about him from a close friend of his. Turns out Tom is very open about his preferences. He often says he loves curvy girls, especially those with big boobs. He's even said, like, every normal guy loves big boobs. It's just natural. I'd die for a pair of big tits. Chat, nobody says this. I'm gonna blow myself up. Chat, be honest. Do you have guy friends that talk like this? No, come on. No, please, like, be completely honest. Like, have you met a best friend or like a close friend that says this? He was like, oh my god, I need a big pair of tits in my face. I did in middle school? Yes! His exes all look alike, and they're exact opposite of me. This guy's a womanizer. He loves big boobies. Once I found that out, my interest in him faded. I wasn't his type, and that's okay. It's not his fault. I moved on. But then, out of nowhere, he messaged me and asked me out. I told him I needed time to think, but deep down, I already knew I'd probably say no. What I don't understand is, why is he doing this? He's seen my body. He knows I'm not his type. Does he just want to have some fun? Is it a joke? Is he trying to mess with me? We barely talked. It's not like he fell for my personality or anything like that. I just don't understand why guys who clearly prefer big boobies go after girls with small ones, fully knowing that physical preference matters a lot to them. And before you say, just because he's like a boob guy doesn't mean he only likes big ones. He might like small ones too. Yes, that's true, but let's be honest. When a guy calls himself a boob guy, 90% of the time he's talking about big boobs. Let's not pretend we don't know what that usually means. Have any women experienced this for themselves? Me personally, anecdotally, no. I'm putting my hands up. This is anecdotal. I'm not saying this doesn't happen. So a nice guy asked you out. You said no because you think that big tits are his deal breaker. In his head. That's what getting to know people is for, man. Go on like a date or something and like ask him, why the fuck are you on Reddit? Like, what the fuck? We are so mentally ill as a society, man. Get the fuck off Reddit. Stop making posts in what is it called? 2X chromosomes. And go on the fucking date if you like him. You don't have to kiss him or anything. Figure out if he's genuine or not, or if he's a retard and then make him his decision. The guy sounds like a gooned out retard to me. I'm just saying, personally. If I met this guy and I somehow magically heard about through a friend that he needs to, I'd die for a pair of big tits. Dude, who says this, man? Guys have to deal with the same shit. Do you know how many short kings want to ask a girl out on a date, but are scared that she only cares about how tall he is or that his pee-pee's small or something? You are literally self-sabotaging yourself. This is what we talked about the other day, chat. Stop letting your insecurities control you. Go on the date. Don't post on Reddit, see what happens, and be content with the fact that it might not work out. I know, mind-blowing moment right here. But no, we go on Reddit, we make we'll make a post on one of the most mentally ill subreddits on the internet so we can get reaffirmation in the echo chamber that all of our irrational insecurities are valid and men are trash. This forum literally grooms girls into being Karens. People always say, oh, Alana, you groom incels. Oh my god, Alana, you're such an incel groomer. You just talk about how, like, women are bad. It's like, no, because this actually does happen. This does happen both ways. This is where they groom femcells, or, you know, not femcells, but, like, women that are very insecure and want to think that all men are bad. And then there's incels getting groomed on other websites or on Reddit saying, oh my god, all women are bad. I don't want to approach them because all they care about is like 15 figures in my bank account. And by the way, chat, the title of this post, leave flat-chested girls alone, she made it sound like men are going out of their way to attack women for having a flat chest. And guess what, shocker chat? That's not what this is about. Instead, I just read a short story about a girl who is likely a minor or barely over 18 schizo posting about her insecurities to get validations from a bunch of mentally ill Karens that hate men. I don't think she's trying to say men are trash. Okay, but then why did she title it this way? I just want men who prefer big boobs or proudly call it to leave flat-chested or small-chested girls alone. That's not what happened. The guy didn't tell her to go fuck herself or that she's ugly or anything. Do you see what I'm saying? They do them all, but he didn't. She claims that she messaged him and then she's like, oh no, I just don't know if I can go on a date. He might say that my boobies aren't big enough. Maybe you're just that wonderful of a person that he actually had a second thought and was like, well, maybe her boobs aren't everything and she has a big heart. Did we bring this up at all? Maybe he got to know her. Maybe he heard something about it through her friends saying that she's really sweet. Get asked out on a date. I don't think he likes me. It's very insecure. I don't want girls like this to get... What happens is they basically get groomed online. Just like people who say, oh, incels are bad and that they get groomed into hating women. I hate the double standard of like, oh, it's fine for like men... It's fine to call out that men get groomed and that it's bad to say that like, oh, all women are bad and like all women are whores or whatever. But the calling out that this is cringe? That somehow like, oh, Alana, you're being a bully. This feels fake. I don't know. I feel like this is not fake. Honestly, I feel like this makes it even more valid that they use ChatGPT, and this is written like ChatGPT too. Chat, just think about it for a minute. Shouldn't you be flattered that a guy who reportedly likes big boobs wants to go on a date with you even though you're flat-chested? Like, I'm very slim, I'm flat-chested, but the guy... Maybe she's really pretty, man. Dude takes on a date. He hates me. I know, right? Women are their own worst enemies. Don't get me wrong. When you have friends, you have good friends. I think everyone is their worst enemy when they get indoctrinated and get into online culture where there's no, like, resistance to a different point of view. Don't get me wrong, I like boobs, but I like the pretty face more than that. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's your prerogative. I mean, some people don't mind a woman that has a butter face or whatever. If you like them for their body, it's wrong, but if you like them for who they are, it's also wrong. Exactly. No! I can't. This last paragraph, I die for a pair of big boobs. I understand insecurities. I totally get it. I'm sure that people don't like hearing that, oh, you know, I just want a girl with big boobs.
Fire.